Okay, now let's get into the pass option stuff a little bit heavier here. So I'm not going to draw up the blocking scheme every time because now we're talking about the pass options of the RPO. So if you're in a 2x2 set, we run our quick screen out of this. Pre-snap, if the quarterback sees on either side that he likes the quick screen, that's as good as a run to us. Okay, our splits are 17 yards no matter what, so from center to outside receiver. So for example, if the ball is dead smack in the middle of the field, the throw is only to the bottom of the numbers, to that outside receiver. If the ball's on a hash, the throw is only 17 yards to the other hash, which is where our widest outside receiver would be. And the reason we do that is because we want to give them room to win to the outside. We want to catch this and stay outside. We do not want to run back into where all the mess is. And I've done clinics and stuff on our splits and why we do what we do with our wide receivers, and you can find some of that stuff on the website. And for the sake of keeping this clinic a little bit shorter so we don't get crazy on time here, let's just go straight into this here. So pre-snap, on one side we have 3/2 and on the other side we have 2/2. Now let's just say the wide side, let's say we're on the left hash, the wide side of the field is to the right. And obviously you can flip this whichever way you need to depending on where you're at on the field. But let's just say the wide side of the field is to the right. Okay, we're on the left hash. So the ball is currently on the hash, which means this outside receiver is on the other hash. So that's 17 1/3, right? We're going to take whichever side is the least dangerous to catch the ball. Okay, so pre-snap, how does he decide whether he's going to go to the left or the right? Well, we always like grass first. So obviously, if we can, we want to go to the right side of the field. Well, you would say, you know, coach, you're 3/2 over there and you're 2/2 to the other side. Yes, but we got a lot more room to win. Okay, if the ball was dead smack in the middle of the field and we got the same alignment, we would definitely, unless it's a press corner on that outside guy, we would definitely be going to the left here. But since we have the field in our favor and we want to win to that outside, remember we have from the hash all the way to the sideline over to the right, that's a lot of room to win. And that safety's job is to make sure that he doesn't get beat deep. You know, if you're seeing two high safeties, they're either in quarters, cover two, or, you know, they're definitely not in man and it'll look like this. You got to educate your quarterback on what he sees on the back end. The reason I would go to the right here is because we have a lot of grass outside that hash. We got an off corner, so even if he's 4 to 6 yards, that's an off corner. So our slot receiver there is going to fire off the ball and he's going to block most dangerous. We're going to catch this quick screen and we're going to try to stay to the outside. The guy that catches the ball, his job is to make that one deeper corner miss. A great offensive football play is 4 to 5 yards. If you can do that every time, you're going to win every football game. Again, we're not trying to hit home runs. Now, you're going to see clips where we do hit home runs. You've seen clips on our website and social media and whatever where we hit home runs on this a lot, right? We've ran it on the goal line before and went 99 yards. You know, just catch the quick screen, make one guy miss, and you're off to the races. All right. So here's the other thing you have to notice. So those safeties' eyes are normally in the backfield. They're on the quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. These are high school kids, youth kids, middle school kids. Their eyes are on the quarterback. So you get to play with those things to your advantage. So on the snap, know that your safety is going to be watching this mesh, right? The quarterback's going to flip his hips and get the ball out there as fast as he can. That safety, you're going to freeze him just for that split second because it's play action. Because the tailback doesn't know whether he's getting the ball or not. And everything in front of him looks like he's getting the ball on Counter Trey. Everything looks like that. So your safeties are definitely going to be eyes in the backfield watching for a receiver to release at them. And again, we're doing the same thing on both sides. We're running this quick screen over here too because they don't know whether they're getting the ball. The beautiful part about RPOs is all 11 of your kids have to be going full throttle on every snap because they never know when they're going to get the ball. Those receivers on the left side have no idea whether the ball's coming their way or not. As you go through practice, you get through deeper in the season, do they start to pick up on these things based on the coverage? Absolutely. You know, and if they don't, then, you know, we got to do a better job as football coaches teaching our receivers who they're blocking, why they're blocking them, when they're blocking them, and you know, when to expect the football. But in all reality, they have to be firing off the ball 100 miles an hour doing their job because at the end of the day, they have no idea where the quarterback's going to go with the ball. And neither do you, right? You've coached him all week, but at the end of the day, you're putting the keys in his hands and you're giving him the responsibility of making the right read pre-snap here. And if you notice, post-snap, everything else looks like Counter Trey. So to the interior of the defense, they're not flying out there and tackling those quick screens because they're worried about chasing down tackles. You know, I'm getting blocked back on. He's worried about, oh, my guy's coming down through, the ball's coming back at me, I'm getting ear-holed by a guard. Like, there's no way those guys are getting out there in space and making those tackles. Even though, you know, our spacing is only 17 yards, right? They still can't do that because they have a run responsibility in front of them that is very obvious. You know, we got guards and tackles pulling and we're blocking back. It's not a pass protection, right? So it's really screws with a defensive player's mind to go, okay, well, they're run blocking everything and they just threw the football. Again, you want to make the defensive players go, okay, I just did exactly what I was coached to do, and they still gained 10 yards. They still gained 20 yards. They still just scored a touchdown. That gets really frustrating really fast for defense. Okay, so now let's go into the trip stuff. Okay, so same thing. Ball's on the left hash. We're 17-yard splits with 17 and 3rd yard splits to our outside receiver. We have the wide side of the field to the right there. Sam backer, let's just say his job is to play on the inside shoulder of your point man or the middle guy in your trips and to get some hands on him and then making sure that, you know, you're in a sound defense. So this would be sound against trips. Now, could they line your Sam backer up, head up on your point man? Yes. And we have a whole clinic on how to block just this quick screen, and I actually think I've posted clips of it and stuff on our social media, our website. It's everywhere, so you know you can go look for those things. It's inside our membership. For the sake of keeping this a little bit shorter, let's just go through the rules. Okay, so pre-snap, if we get this look, it's okay to throw this quick screen. Okay, and you say, well, it's 3 over 3. Okay, well, 3 over 3 means we can win because we know that free safety has responsibility to watching for somebody go vertical. So pre-snap, so your offensive line's all doing the same thing, tailback doing the same thing. They have no idea whether the tailback has no idea whether he's getting the ball or not. So here's how this is going to go. Your point man's job is to block most dangerous. So right now, he's going to block that Sam linebacker. The inside receiver is going to help to the Sam backer and then fold to the corner if your point man doesn't need the help. Okay, so it is literally a fold block, just like you would do with your offensive line. And it's all about angles. So then we're catching this quick screen and we're staying outside. Ideally, now the only guy who's got to make miss is this free safety. Okay, if that Sam backer lines up outside of him, you're going to want to hand the ball off, okay? And you can because you have numbers inside the box, and that's fine. So if your quarterback sees that this Sam backer is outside of him, we don't want to try to force the issue because, you know, he could go blow this up, okay? Most defenses will not do that because it's not exactly sound. You're leaving a massive gap to be able to run anything to the outside here if you do that, and it's easy to wash him out and hit those run lanes. Sound defenses are at worst going to put him head up, and at best, they're going to put him on his inside shoulder. So let's say the Sam backer's in here. Now that changes things a little bit. We would still want to fold this if we can, but the receivers got to communicate with each other. And it's always the point man's decision because the other guy's behind him. So he's just going to point to the guy he's going to go get. Okay, he's just going to let that guy behind him, the inside receiver, know that, hey, I'm going to block down so you can fold. Or he's going to say, he's too far inside, you take him, and I'm going to go get this guy. And again, we have a whole clinic on what to look for and how to block this. So there's our pre-snap portion of this RPO out of trips. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you have trips with a tight end, any kind of trips at all does not matter. So if you want to do something like this, where you're going to get that defensive end a little bit wider, your corner's probably going to go here, and your strong safety's probably going to play on the outside there. That's fine. And now you want to run Counter Trey to the right because of that big gap, right? Boom. Boom. Remember, we're widening this Sam backer out. This is sound, so he's probably going to be out here. You know, we'll hand that ball off and run up in there all day long. And again, that makes that block easier. It widens this guy out. It makes get your corner back off the line of scrimmage. Okay, you have all kinds of options when you do this. But again, for the guys that matter, absolutely nothing changes ever.